I'm going to talk through pieces of my portfolio, and there will be less augmented reality, less football, and certainly less math. I'm sorry. So I came to the program, I teach at 2 community colleges in Oregon, mostly introduction level writing. And I came here and my interest was in the technology part particularly. I thought, well, I already teach a little online, I'd like to get better at doing that. And I thought that my focus would really fall on the tools part of it. Like, what are the cool new things that I could be playing with in class and say that I'm doing homework when I'm playing with them. Instead, what I've discovered, and I think the theme that runs through the things I'll show you today, is that what I'm really interested in is open work, like openly licensed work, so things that can be available on the web for anybody to share. And I've spent kind of the 2 years I've been here building that interest and then creating a lot of things that I can share and let others build on their work, things like that. So that's why you'll see this little weird guy down the bottom of the pages. It just means everything here, you can download it and mess it up if you're out of fun things to do, I guess. Alright, so mine is organized around the standards with best works on each page. And then also, should load this up again. I made myself a 10-minute page to try and stay on task. So mostly my artifacts are courses that I redesigned during the process of classes. So I teach Writing 122 online, which is argumentative writing. Super fun to teach in the last year, just for a whole bunch of reasons. And I ended up redesigning it last year to be more responsive to my students. And one of the outcomes of that has been that the last 2 times I've run it, I've managed to get 100% of the students who stay in the course past the 2nd week to finish the course, which for a community college is a pretty big deal because we usually lose a couple of people along the way. But some of the flexible assignments I've been able to create here have worked for that. So I have samples of that. I also teach Writing 97, which is developmental level writing. Oh no, what if I can't remember my password? So it's a very structured course. They're given a very clear picture of what will we do every day along the way. But these are actually flexible deadlines. They really have a once-a-week deadline, but I've gone through and paced out, if you spend 30 minutes a day on this course, here's what it would look like. And then inside of each week, they have more things that I've created. So all of their readings are free, and they're all openly licensed, so they can be embedded. I'm working on creating a packet of readings that if they want a physical copy of the book, our bookstore looks like it's going to come around like $9.50, which is pretty good because it was $65. One of the books is $95. So they're paced through the course with things that are audio, reading. This glossary they contribute to, so they're creating the terms that will be important to them in the class, and then those terms are linked throughout the rest of the class. So if they forget what the Toolman method is, if it's defined in that glossary somewhere later on, if somebody mentions it, it's highlighted, they click on it, they go back to the definition. So it's really built to be a constant reminder service along the way and keep them engaged. I said this is not the lab course, there's no students in here, this is just to show and play. Oh, hi, how are you? Nice to see you again. Alright, so that's one of the courses. 2 others are pretty similar. Writing 97 is for developmental level learners, which means they're in college, but their reading and writing skills may not quite be at the 100 level yet, which is a really interesting class to teach online. Through some of the courses I took here, I was able to develop a lot more in video for these students. So they got a personal connection with me. There's a lot of research that says a social connection to your instructors and your campus really keeps you engaged. And so They get a customized video each week. There are stable videos throughout the course that they're seeing me in addition to their content. And one other tool that I learned about in one of my classes, that I'm going to blank on which class it was, I've been using Remind, which is a text messaging service. And so I preset text messages each week to go out and check on people, which text message is a more reliable way to contact my students than email. So those are the 3 classes I redesigned during the course, or the master's program. These other 2 have an audience of faculty. And I think I got it. Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk about that. No, let's talk about that in first. So with all those courses, one of the things that I adapted was I looked at the way I was taking classes, and I noticed that you were often getting an option that wasn't just write a paper at the end of the class, but it was do a video or a podcast or a slideshow. And I looked at where the state is going with writing classes, and it's going the same direction. They want students to be able to respond in different ways. So over the course of these classes, I've adapted all of my finals to be what are called multimodal. So students respond in writing, but also video, podcasts. I had somebody do a poem, that was really cool. A lot of animation. Somebody hand drew a comic. All that stuff is cool. Wish I could show it to you, their stuff, but I don't have permission to share it. I do have all the assignment pages linked on here, so you can see what they're doing. And then on the fun side of creating creative things for students and faculty, I use Twine, like Tim and Amanda mentioned, to create an Oregon Trail game that's about creating OERs. So you start at the beginning of Oregon, and you have $10,000 in 10 weeks to create one, and along the way you starve, you get dysentery, terrible things happen to you. You decide to create one. You lose a week, you gain money, you lose money along the way, and then your little, oh, well, all right, my graphic didn't come back up, but you can actually see the little wagons that slowly moves across, if you manage to make it across. So I realized that the creative projects that work for students also work for faculty who need instruction in instruction as much as students do. Particularly when we're talking about open licensing and moving online, where there's a lot of resistance. So a lot of the projects I made in the second year of the program are geared toward my colleagues. So something like this. I created a faculty guide to digital publishing that's like a course they can take. Talks them through the difference between regular and open access publishing, how to publish a podcast, how to put out a video podcast, how to license their work under Creative Commons, how to create a trade publication if they have a romance novel they really want to get out during the summer, everything like that. And it has discussion boards and quizzes so that it's reinforcing the concepts for faculty just like for students. And then the fifth course there is created a supplement to an open textbook that faculty could go through and learn about how to use the book. And I think I'm running out of time. Is that true? Maybe. Oh. So the other thing I ended up doing was creating a lot of websites, because it turns out if you want to share things with other people, the internet, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, it's a really good way to do it. So during the first year I created the Oregon Writes site, Writes with a W, which helped me put together a conference, bring together some writing teachers to talk about how we could open writing text. This year I've taken that further. I have a grant to create a 121-122 textbook for the whole state, so I'm using a website to teach people how to contribute resources. I have a website that talks about open source tools for teachers that actually drew on my colleagues' work in the same class, and that's all openly licensed for other people to use. And then I created a Twine project that talks about assessing online classes all the different ways that you might assess an online class or system. And then I took pictures that seemed relevant to me, but I've learned or don't work as well for everyone else. These are all from the New York Public Library's public domain collection. So all the images you see are openly licensed. Everything can be reshared, reused. That's true of this whole website. This map up at the top is a public domain map of Oregon, back when they thought the world was flat, I think. Yes, the only thing I didn't hit is I do have literature. I did do some writing. And the topics I covered were connectivism and TPAC, so connecting knowledge. Can you be a content expert if your skill is mostly I can find the answer to that on the internet? I said yes. Engineering English meeting, which is about how as teachers we're going to get replaced by robots, so read that one if you're feeling happy. And then the Why Matters in the Z degree about the motivations behind openly licensed textbooks and degree programs. Okay, everybody looks like, wow, I'm sorry. Very good brownies. That's my kid, so if you don't get over there soon, she'll probably have more, right?